This is the plaintiff, Pasquale Petrella. He says he loaned his living ex-girlfriend money so she could pay her bills. Now that they've broken up, he can't get his money. The defendant told her new husband he was harassing her, and the maniac came to his house and beat him up. He just wants his money, and then he never wants to see this woman again, and is suing her here and now for the $3,370 he's owed. This is the defendant, Corey Judson. She says she and the plaintiff were in a relationship and money went back and forth both ways. She doesn't owe the plaintiff a thing. He even continued giving her money once they were broken up because he was desperate to get back together with her. He should just grow up and get over her because she's now happily married to someone else. She's accused of leaving an ex high and dry. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for harassment.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Petrella.
Yes.
You dated Ms. Judson for how long?
About 2.5 years.
Okay, and you two lived together for how long?
About 2.
All right. You have filed this lawsuit for $3,370 in different bills that you paid for her that you say she owes you, plus a loan of $1,800 that was for what?
Well, over the course of the time that we were together.
Just different loans?
Different loans.
How would you keep track during the course of 2 years? How is it that you kept track of what it is that needed to be paid back and what just was the normal flow of money in a relationship back and forth that people cover things for each other?
Well, I would write down, if she owed me for March's rent, I would write down $500 for that month. If she owed me for car insurance, I would
So how is this $1,800 made up of?
Okay, so at the end of the relationship, there was a balance of $2,295. I reduced it down to $2,000, and she signed a promissory note.
May I see that?
On that promissory note, she also made a $500 payment towards that $2,000. And then...
Can you show that to the defendant? Ma'am, what is this?
I believe this was when he was holding my car hostage. He said that I owed him money, and I'm not sure, he was keeping everything on an envelope, really. He could have written anything on that envelope.
Oh, why stop borrowing money? Then we don't have a problem.
Well, we were in a relationship. Money was going back and forth.
Right, but if there's an envelope, then there's an expectation of payment if there's somebody keeping track.
But he was keeping track. I don't know.
Well, then you should keep track.
Well,
if
you are
like, in other words, if it's a gift, then just go woohoo and have another glass of champagne. But if you're supposed to pay back, don't you think you should be keeping track?
You are right. But again, we were in a relationship and money was going back and forth so often. When
you say back and forth, what did you pay for?
A lot of things. We lived together.
Right. So, did you pay for his car or anything like that? Or
he never paid for my car.
Okay.
I was under his insurance. He took basically over everything when I moved in. So I was paying him cash and he was paying the bills. And that's how it was.
Do you owe him any money?
I did owe him money. Yes, I did.
No. Do you owe him any money?
I do not believe I owe him anything at this point.
But you're not sure?
I'm sure.
Because you don't have an envelope.
I'm very sure I don't.
Are you very sure?
I'm very sure.
Then why did you say I don't believe? Hand me what you have in your hand.
Everything that I paid.
Let me see the date that was signed.
Everything that I owe him, I paid. I have.
Do you have any receipts?
I have Zelle payments.
Yeah.
On my phone.
That'll count. Zelle payments are receipts. Receipts just means any proof of payment, really.
I have.
So you have a Cash App called. There's a Cash App called Zelle, and you can show me that you paid him how much through Zelle.
Well, let's see. But like I said, there was money going back and forth so often.
When did you guys break up?
April 19th, 2019.
Is that accurate?
Around Easter of 2019, yes. Easter is when I moved out, so we had split up before then.
So on this document, it says he'll relinquish the Ford, and you sign it saying that you will give him $500 on April 24th and $100 every paycheck until the total of $2,000 is paid. So when you say this isn't that I owe him money, Judge. This is when he held my car hostage. By that, what is it that you mean? Was that car registered to him?
Yes, it was my car. I paid for the vehicle. He put everything under his name. So the insurance wasn't in his name.
So why did you sign this?
I paid
if you
him,
didn't owe the $2,000.
and I've made all the payments back to him since then.
Then.
But then in emails. Okay,
no, now I need the proof since then. That's fine.
Well, if I have emails that he sent me saying that I don't owe him $1,800, I don't owe him $2,000, the amounts would change wildly over the course of time.
Okay, let me see those emails. And while she's looking for those emails to show to me, let me go back to you. What was it that precipitated the breakup?
She was a heavy drinker, and she would come home intoxicated. And
Driving,
yes. She actually drove her car into my house one day. And I assumed that she was getting text messages from someone else on her phone. She wouldn't let me see the phone, so it started an argument that ended in the driveway with her chasing me outside because I had her phone. And it ended in the driveway, and some things were said, and I called the police, and they had her leave the house.
So they had her leave the house.
They had her leave the house. The car was registered, titled, and insured in my name.
But you know it's not yours.
I never said it was.
Right. I'm asking you to be very clear about that now, that was a mess. See, this is how things get messy when people try to defraud the insurance company. You see, they don't want to insure you without getting a really high premium. So you put it in his name so that you fool them. That's called insurance fraud, into thinking that he's the one driving it and that's the risk they're insuring instead of yours. How many DUIs do you have?
Just one.
Okay. And that's one that happens after you two break up?
Yes.
You two break up, like that was the breakup that night when what he described happened?
Well, what he's saying happened and what actually happened are two totally different things. He did grab my phone, and I did chase after him because he had my phone. I tried to serve him with the restraining order. I tried to have him served 3 times. I could not get
Tell me
him
about
when he was
why a
there.
restraining order.
He started harassing me immediately after I left. I had, I submitted emails. These are just some of the emails that he sent me. Text messages. Driving by my house. I have a video of him, stalking where I was staying at my sister's house when I left his house. Driving by my job. There's absolutely no reason he needs to be anywhere near my job. He was calling my boss, calling my supervisor, trying to get me fired, telling them that I was an alcoholic and a drug addict. Calling my ex-boss that has absolutely nothing to do with
I see a series of emails that he's sending you, like this one. I guess he bought a new car.
Yes.
And he was like, this could have been yours. Mm-hmm. This could have been us.
That's a picture of my car.
When did you have the DUI?
When?
Yeah,
May 17th, I believe.
So the car got towed to his house.
And then within days, I actually was admitted to the hospital for emergency surgery. So there was no way I could get the car out. But in the meantime, while I'm in the hospital for a week and a half, having surgery, this is what he's putting on Facebook. And I have coworkers that live down the street from him.
This is
on a main
what
intersection.
happens when a loser drinks and drives. Boy, you really know how to woo a girl.
That was already done and passed.
No, but this is in the midst of you. I've seen the emails every day, a couple times a day sometimes. You would email her and ask her to listen to this love song or that love song, or tell her you love her, tell her you miss her. You were trying to get her back. This is a weird way to do it.
Your Honor, as far as the money's paid, she had only made one payment.
You moved on pretty quickly.
I did.
You broke up with him on April 19th, and you were married by when?
In June, the end of June.
21st.
Is this a gentleman?
This is my husband, yes.
He seems like a perfectly nice guy, but
He
I
is.
have to ask you, because inquiring minds want to know, do you think through things beforehand at all?
I do, absolutely.
How did you know so quickly you want to spend the rest of your eternal life?
I knew immediately when I met him. I knew a long time.
When did you meet him?
Shortly after him and I split.
And within 8 weeks, you knew you wanted to marry him?
Absolutely.
This is from your sister's house. You can see his...
This is just one instance that I actually started filming. This is him driving around in his convertible, blaring music. This is just one time.
Dude, get over her. It's humiliating.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Now, according to you, her husband beat you up?
Yeah, he came to my house, yeah. He was stalking my house from outside. I have a notarized statement from my tenant and a picture of his truck parked in front of my house.
Why don't you show me a picture of how he beat you up?
Wow.
Did he beat you up?
Pushed me on the ground a couple times.
Pushed you on the ground a couple of times. You want to come up and respond?
I've actually got a message here, him inviting me over to his house with his address and phone number.
Oh, for a barbecue?
And I didn't beat him up because sheriffs came over. Sheriff said, this guy's got problems. Just go home, man. That's what the sheriff said.
But
So if I beat him up,
why did you actually show up?
because he was coming to my work, calling my boss, showing up, driving to my work,
So what'd you do?
and I actually work across the street from her.
So what'd you do?
I went over there and asked him, you need to stop this. And he kept putting his hands on me. I'm like, look, dude, stop putting your hands on me. Stop putting your hands on me. And I was getting loud, so the sheriffs came. So if I beat him up, don't you think the sheriffs would have arrested me?
Yeah, well, he rolled back, beat me up to push me. So when he put his hands on you, did you push him?
I told him he's going to, I kept
Is that a
threatening.
yes?
I kept threatening him if he did, I was going to.
Did you push him is what I'm asking.
I pushed him away from me.
Okay.
And he kind of over dramatically stumbled backwards, looked at me and fell on the ground. Then got up and asked me, AJ, is my shirt dirty?
Yeah, I was going out that night.
Yeah.
I wanted to look good.
Gotcha.
Oh, so I guess you weren't really beat up, though.
I got pushed
If
around.
you were worried about how you looked to go
I
out
got
that
pushed around.
night, it doesn't sound like you were
I do
really
have a
beat
statement.
up.
I do have
Let
a.
me
Stop talking and let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Did you send him a text saying, come on over, here's my address?
Yes.
Oh. And were you calling their employers and
No.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. How long after you start dating somebody do you start loaning them money, or should you?
Maybe after 2 years.
2 years? Why so long? That's interesting.
I just feel like after 2 years, you kind of establish your relationship, so.
What do you say?
About a month or two, they can get some money out of you. I'm a victim.
You're a victim? How many times that happened to you?
A few times.
You know the saying, fool me once?
Fool me 3, 4 times.
Oh, no.
Well, you proud of this?
That's life, man.
Going inside the courtroom.
you have a counterclaim against him for $5,000 for harassment. Let's discuss some of the emails. This is to acknowledge that the balance of the debt owed to Pasquale Petrilla has been reduced from $1,800 to $400 based on the verbal agreement made between you and me. Please respond with your confirmation and date which you can resume biweekly payments. Why did you send that email on June 15th?
We had a phone conversation, and she said that she didn't think she owed me for things, and I was trying to be nice, and I gave her a reduction.
A reduction from $1,800 to $400.
Correct.
Okay, now why would you say that if according to your math on this piece of paper, it's $1,900?
She made one payment on the 31st of $100.
Oh, 31st of what?
May.
What is it you just flashed at me?
The payment receipt from Zelle
Okay.
showing that she made
Show
the-
me your Zelle account. Or you can show me yours that has payments from her.
money payment.
I see a $20 payment to him on April 29th. What would that be about?
I don't remember exactly, but she wants.
And then May 2nd, $30. What was that for? Something that's, I mean, these are all after the promissory note. So am I to use these in your math or not?
No.
Well, yeah, I know you don't want me to. I'm asking you why wouldn't I? Because it's not making sense. What's going on in front of me isn't making sense.
Okay, so.
Another $20 one on May 15th. On May 31st, $100. So why are you paying him this if you don't owe him anything, my dear?
They were probably from outstanding bills is the only thing I can think of. I've never paid him back anything towards the repayment of a loan because there were never a loan.
Then why'd you sign this?
I think I was just trying to get him to leave me alone, to be honest. I didn't.
What do you think I'm supposed to do? Just ignore this? You know I can't ignore this,
I understand
right?
that,
It's
but
a
he was
contract.
holding my car hostage.
Did he call your employer? You started to tell me earlier.
He called my employer trying to get me fired, telling them that I was a drunk and a drug addict.
Who did he speak to your boss? Who did
Absolutely, my big boss. Yes.
And what happened?
I got called into a meeting. Other people are saying that he's driving through, and that this is a problem.
Did you get a restraining order?
I did.
And was it served on him?
Yes, eventually.
And was there a hearing?
We actually go back for a hearing on the 14th. He's contesting the restraining order.
Okay.
For what reason? I have no idea. There's no reason like I said, I work at a factory. There's no reason to be driving through on factory grounds.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be much of a contest, is it? You have video of him driving
Absolutely.
by. You have 100 emails.
And he's calling his employer, trying to get him fired.
Yeah. It's not going to go well for you that day.
Driving by my sister's house.
But here's my question to you, and not a single one, not until the very end is it, hey, you owe me money. They're all, I love you, and, So why do you reduce it to $400? Did you ever say, I'll pay you $400?
At the end, I was just so over it. I told him, I said, you know what, that's exactly the conversation.
You disputed the amount.
I said, I don't think I owe you anything. He's like, just give me $400 and we can be done with it. I think it actually says it in that email.
And you said what?
And I said, whatever.
What do you want me to do with this? Pretend it never happened? Or, I guess what you're asking me is, I want $5,000 for harassment, Judge, because he won't stop.
He won't stop. And he's still not stopped.
I think you're lying about whether you owe him money. I do think you're lying. No, I know you are, because you signed a promissory note, and then it's like, I just did that. I did that to get him out of my hair. I think you're absolutely lying about it. What I'm struggling with is what value I assess to the perennial contact that he had. And what say you about that? You text her new husband, you tell him, come and get me, I'm here. You call her job and tell them she's a drunk. You put a sign on her car that says, this is what happens when you're a loser drunk.
It was my car.
Well, not really.
Titled in...
Not really. So tell me. Yeah, no, it's titled in your name, but we both know it's her car. So, and by the way, what's going on with that? Is it still titled in his name?
He gave me the title. He signed the title over to me.
Okay.
He since went down, got a replacement title before I could even have the title put into my name. Then tried to have it towed out of my sister's driveway.
Who did that?
Him. My sister came out had to stop the tow truck while they were on the phone with him.
Did that happen?
I was trying to repossess my property.
What are you talking about? You gave her the title. Oh, that left a bad taste in the judge's mouth right now.
Judge.
And that's just one instance. There's so many things that he has done over the course of these months. It's
find
ridiculous.
that you owe him $2,000 for the debts that I am positive you still owe him, and I find that he owes you $2,000 for the harassment. That is my verdict. Leave each other alone, other than show up in court. Make sure you show up in court and get the restraining order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, after hearing all this testimony, the judge finds for 0 for both parties. Mr. Petrella, what do you think? What do you think?
You win some, lose some, Doug.
I don't know. It makes it sound like you're a very vindictive guy. Would you agree?
The DWI put me over the edge. It was my car, cost me money.
Oh, come on.
I was angry.
You can't get over her.
I am now. Can I say hi to my family in Rochester?
Not really. Sorry.
All right.
Okay,
Have
goodbye.
A good day. Thank you.
I don't know why you're smiling. You lost. Ms. Judson, what do you think will happen now as a result of this
Well,
case?
hopefully it's over now, and hopefully the harassment will stop, and this will be it.
You're going to go to court like the judge encouraged you to get the restraint? Did he call your office?
Oh, yeah, he called my work several times. We'd drive around the parking lot, just harassing.
I mean, it just makes him sound like a nutcase.
Well, and he's still doing it, so the fact that he said that he's moved on is kind of ridiculous. He needs to stop.
Wow, what a mess.
Yes.
And you left him in May and got married in June, right?
Something like that, April.
How's married life?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
He's a great guy.
Awesome. Good, you deserve something.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Harvey?
Okay, I mean, just so you know, getting a temporary restraining order is actually a very easy thing to do, and clerks are very helpful if you go to the courthouse.
This is the plaintiff, Maisha Logan. She says the defendant is her ex-husband, and he stole grant money she received to go to nursing school. That's right, the stubborn guy refuses to give her the $474.20 he owes her, and she's here to prove her case to the judge so she can get her money. This is the defendant, Terrence Logan. He says the money that was directly deposited into his account was a refund for tuition money he already paid for the plaintiff's nursing school, so why should she get it? The plaintiff has some nerve coming after him for this money because it's rightfully his. He's accused of distressing an ex.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Logan, Mr. Logan, how long were you married?
3 years.
And when was your divorce final?
In July of 2018.
And when did you separate?
Well, we separated in January of 2018, but I remained in the home until July.
Okay, I got you. So after the divorce was final is when you moved out?
Yes.
All right, so now you have, sometime during the marriage, you decided to go to nursing school.
Correct.
Tell me about it.
So I had been working in the casino for almost 19 years, and I started getting sick. The cigarette smoke was giving me respiratory infections, and it really started wearing on me. And so Terrence talked to me about going to nursing school, and so I quit my job, and then I started nursing school in May of 2017.
Okay. And while you were married, he was making the payments for nursing school.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Then you get a divorce, and what happens?
While he was paying, I wasn't eligible for any financial aid. Once we got the divorce, I became eligible for financial aid.
So you applied for financial aid?
Yes.
And what happens?
They gave me a grant, and in October
of what year?
Of 2018, they said that they gave me a grant, and I'm like, okay.
Do you have the paperwork for the grant?
Yes.
Let me see it. Now, unfortunately, you had not updated your banking information with the school, correct? So what they did was they deposited said grant into an account. Did you guys still have an account together, or just
no?
They deposited your grant into an account that he had?
It was his debit card, because he had been paying with his debit card.
Oh, and did you come to them and tell them, reverse this?
You're welcome.
You guys sent it to my ex.
Yes.
And what'd they say? Can't do it. Get it from your ex.
Exactly.
Good luck.
They said there's nothing they could do about it. I had to get it from him.
All right. So that money went to you, correct?
Yes.
In October, after you two divorced.
Yes.
How do you figure you don't have to pay that back?
Now, one, that wasn't told to me. It didn't even go into my bank account. It went into a credit card because I was paying all her school through
Was it a debit card or a credit card?
No, it was a credit card.
A credit card. Okay.
She went through her lawyer, and her lawyer asked me to look into it.
And then
what I told her, it's a busy time for me. And so when I get enough time, I start looking into it.
And
but
then
I did send her payments. I sent her 900 one, and then I sent her 400.
Oh, so you looked into it and you realized the
I didn't even look into it yet because
What was the point of the 900? To pay her back, right?
Right.
Right. So you paid her.
One for.
Well, the total of the payments, there's no dispute, is $1,350, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. And then you stopped.
Yes.
And that's what the subject of the lawsuit is. The rest of the money. Why did you stop?
She left. She took a lot of money out of my account. She took.
You mean in the divorce?
Well, it was toward the end.
What do you mean toward the end? There's a divorce decree that's final on 7/18. Right. You still had joint bank accounts after that?
No.
Right.
In the process,
so you're talking about stuff that happened.
Right.
There's no in the process. My question is it before or after? The divorce decree's final 7/18. The stuff you're going to tell me about is stuff that happened before 7/18, correct?
No, it was after, because she moved out, and when she moved out, there was a lot of damage to my house.
Okay, so one is damage in the move out.
Yes.
Okay. Another is stole my bank accounts. What is that about?
She went into and took all my points out of my
bank account or points?
Well, my points and bank account. She charged up like my Verizon. She bought a new phone. She bought some other stuff. They almost.
I don't understand. I don't get how she's able to do all that.
Because she had access to everything.
No, I know. How did that access not go as soon as you guys started having problems and knowing that you're headed to divorce for 6 months?
I didn't. I didn't. And I didn't.
Because you forgot, or you were hoping it would patch up?
A little bit of both.
I got the answer.
A little bit of both.
From the hesitation. All right. So according to you, she runs out and buys a phone when?
Somewhere around April.
Okay, but your divorce wasn't final. She was still living in the house, and you knew April, May, June, and July that she had done that. And what did you do about that? Go to the police? I don't think so.
No.
And when you signed the divorce decree, one of the things that the divorce decree says is any problems or any liabilities back and forth are hereby extinguished today by virtue of this agreement. So you can't go back and relitigate things like that. When did the points happen, according to you?
Same around that same time.
Right, that's before the divorce decree. You can't relitigate that. And when, by the way, do you want to defend yourself on any of that? Did you steal a bunch of points?
That was, yes, I did. But that was in relation to him getting the house refinanced that he didn't give me half for. So it balanced out, and this was all taken care of in the divorce.
Okay. And now the only thing that is a legitimate thing to discuss is anything that happens after the divorce decree, which is the move out. So you say, she wrecked my place, which doesn't sound believable, because why are you writing $1,350 in checks to her if she wrecked your place before you wrote the checks? But let's see the pictures of the wrecked place. What is this, debris?
That's the living room for carpet.
Okay, somebody drops their dental picks on the floor. That's disgusting. Someone had to clean. She left the garbage there. Is that what you're talking about? Did she damage anything?
It goes in that to how she did the kitchen, the living room.
Okay, so now my question to you is there any actual damage besides debris left, in the garbage cans or on the rug?
It was stains. We had just bought a $3,500 couch. It's stains. You see the pictures on that.
And do you have evidence that she stained them?
Well, it was in the move out.
How did it get stained in the move out?
I don't know. I tried to be away from the house so I wouldn't, affect the kids.
Yeah.
And when
do you guys have kids together?
No.
No.
Yeah, the place is a mess. Did you leave it like that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
Okay, because as we were leaving, it had gotten so bad there. And I got a call from school from my daughter. I had ordered something. It came in the mail. She was trying to hide it from him. I had to leave school, come home. I found her locked in my room, holding a knife in the bathroom because he was yelling at her. It had gotten nasty. It just got so nasty. When I left, I left. It wasn't like I punched holes in the walls or did anything malicious. I just didn't clean up after myself. And then he started saying, even like the couch he's referring to, that couch was bought when we bought the home. 3 years ago. So it's like, I'm not understanding.
Why did you guys split up? What was the cause of the
his
break?
mother.
Well, that was very, very pointed and succinct. Because you feel what?
He should have been married to her.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, does this guy owe her money for the tuition? Does he have to pay her tuition?
Yes, he does.
Because?
Because he took her grant money, and if you're going to pay it back, then you need to pay it back. I mean, you actually stole from her, so once you started that, you need to finish it.
The fact that he started paying some of that money, does that show he felt he was obligated to pay her, to pay it?
Yeah, when he started to pay for her, I think that's showing that he...
A consciousness that you owe.
Yeah.
Got your point, going inside the courtroom.
His mother is in control of the way he blinks, smells, looks, tastes, talks, and she had an issue with me and my kids. It got to a point where she was like, why are you spending time with those kids? Well, why did you get her something on Valentine's Day and not me? I mean, it was ugly. And when we got a divorce, he emailed me to tell me he wanted a divorce and said, if you can't love my mom like you love me, we don't need to be married. Who does that?
Well, it's complicated. I am impressed by his love for his mother. And if I was with somebody who hated my mother, I would find it to be very difficult. So I am sure that there are many complications. Okay. Yeah, I do want to hear.
Yes.
Because I'm sure you want to say something.
She left out a whole lot. For one, she had my credit cards until April because I went to get a hotel because my youngest daughter was turning 21 and I had no points. This is almost 1 million points.
1 million?
Yes.
How'd you spend 1 million points?
I didn't. Oh my goodness, if he's not perjuring himself, I don't know who is. I did not spend 1 million.
How many points did you spend?
It was like 300,000. But here's the thing.
She says that like it's nothing.
No.
Wait, and how did you spend it? You didn't spend it on travel. You had it on...
No, I spent it to get ready for my move. But here's the thing. It was about $6,000 in cash, but that had nothing to do with the $7,000 he was supposed to give me when he refinanced the house behind my back. So he's not appalled about what he did, just what I did.
Okay, all right.
Now, according to and in the divorce paperwork, The house was refinanced. They went over everything I spent. What I spent was to pay off the debt she incurred through her spending sprees.
Okay.
I didn't get anything out of it.
Everybody thought that all this stuff was hammered out by your signatures on a divorce decree. And yet both of you are bringing up this stuff. There can be, I wanted to hear it because I'm nosy as can be. And I also have this delusional opinion of my ability to bring peace to people. But that ain't gonna happen. So let's just get this over with. No. You don't need to get along. You don't have children in common. You're probably not going to have any more contact with each other. The best evidence of whether this money should be paid is the fact that you were paying it. The fact that you then decided not to doesn't mean you can keep it. Your complaints, most of them happened before the decree. So by virtue of the divorce decree, you can't even bring the ones that happened beforehand. The only thing you could bring up was how she left the place. She did not damage anything. Yes, she left garbage lying around that no sooner amounts to $474.20 than you think it did when you wrote checks for $1,350. Because those checks were written well after she'd left the place dirty. No, stop. No, I don't want to hear anything else. It's not going to help. It can only hurt further. So I am ordering you to pay her the remaining $474.20 plus, of course, your court costs. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, in this case of Logan versus Logan, it's Mr. Logan who comes out on the bottom end of the case today. What are you thinking?
And it's just typical.
Typical. What'd you do to get all the million points on your car?
I travel weekly.
You do?
Yeah.
That's a lot of time on the road.
Yes.
Well, is this going to end this dispute between the two of you now that the court suit's over?
No dispute for me. I haven't talked to her in a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it is over for sure.
Been over.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. No problem. You've signed some documents. All right, Ms. Logan.
Hello.
Hello. You're smiling.
I am. I'm happy.
And you haven't talked to him in like a year and a half?
No, I have not. There's no reason to. I just wanted my money. So justice was served.
Well, good.
Yes, happy to be here.
Are you still in school for nursing?
Yes, I am. I have one more semester left.
One more to go?
Yes, and I will be a nurse.
Okay. Congratulations. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All righty. Harvey?
You know, when you do a property settlement as part of a divorce, the more detailed, the better. Account for every possible thing you can. And I hate to say it this way, but don't always just automatically trust your lawyer. You know what you have more than the lawyer.
This is the plaintiff, LaToya Lachelle Hubbard. She says she and the defendant used to date and eventually moved in with her. She ended up renting a car for him, and then a few weeks later she found out he was having a baby with another woman. He says he's sorry until he's blue in the face, keeps saying he's going to pay her the $890.72 he owes her, but the only thing he's paid her is lip service. This is the defendant, Jerome Anthony Mock. He says he and the plaintiff were going to take her son to Disney World. He paid the deposit, and once they broke up, he asked her for the money he had paid for the trip. That's when she got all sorts of mad at him. And it's the only reason she's come up with this bogus lawsuit. He thinks the judge will see it his way, and he'll walk out a winner today because he owes her nothing. He's accused of dissing an ex.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated and come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, LaToya Lachelle Hubbard, you are suing Jerome Anthony Mock. This is your former boyfriend?
Yes.
For $890.72 that you say he owes you for a rental car that you took out in your name. What
Absolutely.
happened?
Well, the defendant and I began dating in the beginning of April 2014. It was, to my understanding, when we started going out, that he was part owner in a landscaping business. So I had no reason to doubt what he was telling me because he was doing like 9 to 12 hour shifts every day with his company. However, I was also unaware that he wasn't paying his car note for his truck for the past 4 months. So when he left out of the door to leave for work one day, the truck was gone.
Did he say why he did not pay his car note for 4 months?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Did you ask him why did you not pay?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
He told me that he had got his apartment at that time had gotten broken into, and his money was wrapped up because one of the guys that was part owner with him went to jail and he couldn't touch his funds. That's what he told me.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you since learned that he's not part owner of anything?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
How did you learn that?
Because he's broke.
Okay. Well, maybe he's part owner of something that doesn't make money.
Right. I understand you.
Okay.
Okay. However, I agreed to get him a rental car when
Why would you do that?
Because he was unsuccessful in, leasing or owning a vehicle from a car lot.
And why do you suppose that is?
His credit was jacked up. I went with
so
him.
Why would you do that? Why would you rent a man a car who just told you I didn't pay my car note for 4 months? That's not a red flag for you, apparently.
Well,
that's not like a big symbol that it's a problem.
Right. Okay, well, I was naive, I admit that, and I did not see that red flag. So, however, in the kindness of my heart, I went to the rental car company.
No, the stupidity of your brain, not the kindness of your heart.
Okay.
Okay? It's the stupidity of your brain. I'm sick and tired of hearing women, because it's almost always women, talk about how big their heart is. It is not that your heart is too big, it's that your brain is too small.
Okay.
That's the reason why this happens. You put yourself right in the center of his finances. It's not because you have a big heart. It's not. All right, now go on. It's because you liked him and you wanted to keep him. So go ahead.
Okay.
So what happens?
All right. So a couple weeks went by and the rental company car.
Well, tell me about how did you guys do the rental car?
Well, I went into the rental car company. However, I had my driver's license, but it was his card.
But you were pretending like you were going to be driving it.
No, he was on there too as a.
So you were both as drivers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, but it was his card. So
his debit card.
Yes, ma'am. So they swiped it. The first, I guess it was like $250 came off. Everything was fine. I went to work. He drove off and went to work.
How long was he going to be renting a car?
For a month. So the rental car company calls me 2 weeks later saying that they wanted to take another payment off of the card because he wanted to try to keep it longer. But they told me that there was no more funds on the card. I then contacted the defendant and he told me.
Were you dating?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at the time.
I then contacted the defendant and he told me that, okay, the money should be in there Friday. So call him back and let them know it'll be there Friday. And I did that. So she actually extended it an extra week. However, when they called a week and a half later, it said, okay, there's still no money in this account.
Still or again?
Still.
Okay.
So I said, I told the defendant, it's time to take the car back or you need to pay it. He was like, I'm going to take care of it. I promise I'm going to take care of it. I'm just going through something.
Is he living at your house during this time?
Technically, yes.
Because he's there every day?
His stuff was there. He pretty much moved in.
Okay.
Little by little.
You see that he brings the car back every single day.
Yes, ma'am.
So you know he hasn't taken care of it.
Exactly. However, no, the financial part. And that's where our argument started to come in because he wasn't doing what he said he was going to do. So long story short, they came and repoed the rental car. Yes, it was funny at the time. He was making jokes like, oh, they repoed my truck 4 months later. Now they repoed the rental car. And I'm like, okay.
I don't find that funny. I wouldn't find it funny.
I do apologize, but it was.
No, I don't think it's funny.
So why are you leaving her with an $890 rental car bill?
Okay, my version of the story, everything that she said was correct as far as me living with her, the money, the debit card. The debit card was hers. I actually gave her the cash to put on her debit card. So everything in this rental car was in her name. The insurance, I wasn't on it.
Why were you giving her the cash to put it on?
Because she was getting a rental for me.
For you?
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't get the rental because I didn't have
Then let's go back to my original question. Why did you leave her with an $890 bill if the rental car was for you?
Because she ended up using it, Your Honor.
Why did you two break up?
Because she knew I had a separate situation. I had a girl pregnant, and she knew this. She knew this from the beginning.
You're living with her, and you not only cheated on her, but you got another girl pregnant?
I didn't cheat on her, ma'am.
Immaculate conception?
Ma'am, the baby was conceived before I got with her, and she knew this. Yes, ma'am. She came into the situation knowing this.
Knowing this.
Is
that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That is true.
All right. So
and that's why I left her because the mother of my child needed me. So I had to be there.
Needed you to what?
Be there financially for her and my child.
But being there financially doesn't require you to leave her. Did you get together with her, with the mother of your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, that's kind of different. That's totally different.
So what I was trying to explain was...
Try to explain why you left her with an $890 bill.
I didn't leave her with this bill, man. We had to rent a car for 2 months. I drove it for the first month, and then I purchased a Ford Expedition. This is not the car that got repoed. This is a whole separate
third
vehicle.
car. Oh,
yes, ma'am.
okay.
This is a third car. I purchased this cash, so this is my vehicle
Wait,
now.
so if you had that money, why didn't you just pay off the rental bill?
Because I needed some stable transportation. Plus, at the time,
I understand perfectly.
I bought the car. I bought the truck, and we still had the rental for a month.
Why would you have the rental for a month if you don't need it?
Is what I'm trying to explain.
Did you have another car?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a vehicle.
So how many cars does a person need?
Her car was down, Your Honor.
Can you prove that?
Can I prove that her car? I don't have no documents today.
Was there? Today would be the day. Was your car down? The other car?
No, Your Honor.
Are you hearing this?
I'm trying not to.
None so blind as she who will not see. So your answer to me is, let me see the date of your purchase of your Ford Expedition, because if that's in fact a month before the rental was repossessed, there's some truth to what you're saying.
I didn't bring my proof of purchase or nothing.
No. Why not? Because there's only two reasons not to. One, because you're a complete slackjaw, or two, because it's not true what you're saying. So I don't know which of those two to pick. But if the whole issue here is she used the car that other month, Judge, because I already had a car, which is what you have just said to me. Judge, I already bought another Expedition. So I wasn't using it. She was using it. She's responsible. I am willing to listen to that because that sounds very reasonable. All you have to do is prove what you just said. And you have it within your power to do that because it's your purchase paperwork. Why wouldn't you bring that in here if it'll prove what you just said?
The date just crept up on me too fast, man.
Did you ever give her any money towards this car?
Absolutely. The money to get the rental car off the lot, man, that was all my cash.
How much was that?
Roughly like $600 and some change because you can only put, I think, like $550 on a green dot vanilla card. So I gave her like $600, man.
All right. And then you say that it was on his debit card?
Yes, Your Honor. Through his job, he had like a pay card. But I just wanted to say that if he, hypothetically speaking, let's just say what he is saying is true, which is not. If he only had it for that month, that's all this bill is for. That month he had the vehicle.
Oh, let me see.
Okay. And I also have text messages printed out, me saying, when are you going to pay the $890 that 72 cents that you owe? He said Friday.
Oh,
and
Friday? Not, I don't know it. You drove it. It's your car.
Ma'am.
You had it for a month.
There you
not
go.
that?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
not
come
at all.
on.
Not at all. There's emails, text messages, pictures, you name it.
The balance you owe is $890.72. And here he goes. Okay, I've been waiting for you to call me. He just goes around paying what he's supposed to pay. He's been waiting for you to call him. I got into an accident and broke my phone. What is this, like every few weeks you're sending him a copy of the enterprise bill?
Absolutely, so you don't forget.
But we was living together, so she didn't have to do that.
821?
He was with his child's mother.
By 821, he was
Yes,
with his
ma'am.
child's mother.
He left in July after he lied and said he was going to an out-of-town work job.
I left in October on my birthday.
Where are you in terms of the enterprise bill, she asks, and your answer is Friday. It hurts me that you've been harassing me or bashing me. Okay, where's she bashing you?
Just to different people outside of that.
Did you pay her Friday?
Ma'am, I did not pay her Friday.
Okay, so you got the cash. See, do you pick up what's going down here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he's got the cash because he took the cash and he bought himself a truck. He just doesn't want to spend it on you.
Your Honor, he didn't buy the truck. Daddy Mock gave it to him.
His father?
Yes.
Okay. Where's he spending his money?
On Jordans and trying to keep up with the new trend or whatnot.
Social media.
And I have pictures of that too, Your Honor.
Of what?
Him flexing on Instagram.
It's a photo. First off,
you know what? Why don't you stop talking and just pay the lady?
Shoot.
Seriously, why don't you just stop talking and pay the lady? Because on the one hand, I hate these cases because seriously, on the one hand, I just want to get off this bench and smack you around.
I know.
Okay? Because I have daughters. I mean, how do you have so little self-respect that you would allow somebody who there is nothing but red or white because he's cute? You think he's cute? You want to keep him around? Seriously, you can't do better than this? You can do better than this.
And
you
I
can. Have a little more respect for yourself than to turn around and lay out your good name for a guy who doesn't care what happens to your good name because he doesn't care what happens to his good name. Okay? He doesn't care. It's not that he doesn't have $890. It's that you're yesterday's news, baby. He's on to the next woman.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Can you win somebody over, somebody you're interested in romantically, by buying him stuff?
Absolutely not.
Why do you say?
Because it's all about the depth of the person, you know? Material things are material, that can come and go, but if they don't have anything real to offer you, that's not a relationship.
But can you literally buy somebody's love?
No, I don't think so. Not genuine love, no. Not long term, no.
So the person that you give something to, they're not going to like you more because you give it?
No, well, they're going to appreciate what you give them, but they're not going to like you. There's a difference between you and what you give them. They want what you give them more than they want you.
Well put. Well put. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
He does not care, which is why you do not put out money for a boyfriend ever. I was going to say unless, but there's no unless. There's ever. Well, unless it's a gift. Unless you don't expect to see it back. But certainly not a man like him who thinks about himself.
Mm-hmm.
$890.72.
Thank you.
Verdict for the plaintiff.
All right, defendant leaves the courtroom here and comes down into the hallway. You didn't have any documentation or anything, so how did that go?
I mean, it went rough, but, you know, that's just go to show, like, a girlfriend scoring, like, they'd do anything just to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a good guy, and I did right by her and her son for a long time, and didn't ask for repayment on nothing. So, you know, she can repay me for the times I picked up her son from daycare, the times I helped with the rent over there, the times I helped get the car fixed. I didn't ask for repayment of that because that's just what I was supposed to do.
Okay. All right, step on out here. All right, you win your case. The judge didn't want to reach out and slap him around. She wanted to reach out and slap you around.
I understand.
Why?
Because I was naive, and I was. And, you know, it had nothing to do with the baby incident because I made him go over there to check on that. But in the end, I got bit behind it. It was more so him going to clubs I don't approve of. And
What did this fly guy have that you found so irresistible that you were totally blind?
You know what? I don't know. But,
Harvey?
Okay, my 2 cents, not only can you not buy somebody's love, it never works out in the long run.